Hello and welcome back to my channel and to the second of my videos of decorating pages in my leather journal. So um not yesterday, sorry, in the last video I showed you how to do this, and I was thinking in that video about doing the double page, and I got a few bits out, but in the end I stuck to this page. So we're going to just look at this little one today. Just this little one. And when I was looking through, remember I was looking these packs. This one I think, well, at the moment as I record it is still available on Janie's website. This one I think is sold out. But if you've got cards, any sort of cards, playing cards or whatever, you can use those. So this came out of there. There's a kind of like a library card. And I picked out this little frame, which was also in the pack. Now, this wasn't in the pack. This was from another ephemera print pack from Janie, which I cut out. So I thought I'd use that. But I've now also found a couple of more things that I'd like to use. So I'm kind of looking at using that like a frame. This came out of this pack, these little like labels. So I'm going to use that to layer up. Oops, behind that. Like that maybe. And then I've got these. Now, I did get these from Janie, but Janie no longer has any of them. I had a quick Google. I found the original place or place you can get them, but their postage is quite expensive. But if you, I will link that. But if you, I think you can also pick them up on Etsy or uh, eBay. So have a look. But that's the basis of what I'm going to do. I will add some words because I always add words. It's one of those things that I like to do, but we'll look at that at the end. I'm just going to move that out of the way because it's quite glaring. Now, what I thought I would do, because this is quite a small piece, I thought we might maybe do a bit of inking and some stamping. These little card candies, these were also in the pack, the ephemera pack. These are some stickers. Again, I've got these from Janie, but they're not like hers. I think I bought off her. So some of these like ticket style floral stickers. So we might use some of those. But I kind of feel like I want to ink these and just use some stamps maybe on them. So I'm going to, when I do stuff like this, I'll be able to find it now. When I do things like this in my journal, I usually use a piece of oh the word's gone, mylar. And I cannot find my pieces of mylar, so I don't know where they've gone. Oh, hang on, I've got a piece. You can see. I just use a piece of mylar, and I put it kind of between the pages so that anything I'm doing on here doesn't go on here. Now, you might not be bothered if it does, but I don't particularly want it. So I'm going to use kind of my go-tos. I've got Frayed Burlap and round Espresso Distress Oxide. So I'm just going to put a little bit of ink. Now, I'm not going to ink the whole lot because, as you could see, when I put the card on, I've just got some bits on my brush. When I put the card on, we're not going to see it all. So I'm just kind of doing the edges. We'll add a little bit of the ground espresso in a minute as well. I think I've got something on my brush. I'm not bothered because it's adding a little bit more of an interest. When I put this on, we're not going to see much anyway. So I'm just going to put that there, and we're just going to get a little bit of ground espresso just to make it a little bit darker, sort of around the edge. Just to give it a little bit more interest. like so. And then I'll put a little bit more down there. Quite so easy down that little bit, but okay. So it's nothing fancy, nothing technical, but just to add a little bit more interest, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. Now, I tend to use oxides for backgrounds and blending, and then I do tend to use the distressed inks, and I tend to go with the same ones. So I'm going to go with Frayed Burlap and ground espresso, and I will get out my my little blocks and put that over there. And see what we're going to use. Let's move those out of the way for the minute. I am also, in fact, I might do that before I even do anything else. I'm just going to add some ink onto this card. We'll do a similar thing. But I will probably ink all of this with the ground espresso, sorry, the frayed burlap, and then we'll go around the edges. I intend to stick this down, so I'm not going to bother with the back because I'm going to stick that on there. So I'll just put a bit of ground espresso to give the outside of it a bit more of a defined edge. This will really stand up against that. So you see, it'll give us a nice line. You know, I'm not using any particular technique. I like to use the brushes, but you know, whatever you prefer, you might use cut and dry. But I'm not doing anything particularly specific or difficult. So that will sit on there like that. Okay, and then I'm just gonna dump this back underneath for a minute. Okay, so I've just pulled out a few of stamps I've got from Janie. I've pulled out the background text, the journal scribbles, the postcard, I'm not sure about that, and scruffy stitches. Who knows what I'm going to use. I am going to use this one though. And I think it's big enough. Put on this. And I'm very bad at taking things off of there. You should pull this and not the stamp because you don't really want to be stretching with your stamp. Okay, so that's going to go on there. And we're going to use, I think, the ground espresso. I'm putting it all over. I'm not worried if I haven't covered it all. So I'm looking and thinking about where am I going to see it. So I'm probably going to see it there. Oh, that's good. I like. Put a bit more ink on that. I'll have that as the background. Definitely, I like that. So, there we go. It's good. And I'm just, because there's probably still some ink, I am literally just going to do that on here. So, give it all. There we go. So we've got that to go on there and put that to the side for the moment. Now, what I do want to do is to add some more to this. And I think I'm going to go with the journal scribbles. Oh, I'm pretty sure what I'm going to use. Now I'm going to put it around like this so I can see what I've got. I think I think, right, let's think. What do I want? So this is going to be on here. So this will be, I'm not going to ink that. I want that to stand out like it does. No, that's upside down, but you get the idea. This is going to do on there. Might want to add a little bit of ink to that. It's just I'm not putting any more on my brush. I'm just adding, using what's on the brush just to dull that down a little bit. I think that looks better. It's not quite doing your face. So what else might I like from here? Maybe we'll go with this. I think. Let's see what we get with this. Use up a bottle. The blocks I use are the Tim Holtz ones. I think we just stick with them. In a way, it would have been better to perhaps do the text with the Frayed Burlap, but just gonna add a few bits. I don't know like that, so I get some bits. That one. What else should we use? That one. Oh, I quite like the idea of that. Let's need a different block. That one. Not big enough. Yes. So I'm not using it as a whole circle, just as a bits around the edge. I think. And then I am just going to use what's left on there. That. Let's do on a bit more. Like the little flower. Some more better teeny tiny little one. Is that my smallest one there? I think that might be my smallest one there. So just do some little flowers. Next, oh, prefer not to do that, but not to worry. So when you're stamping, you don't need the whole thing on the to be on there. You want some that go off a little bit. Makes it, whoops, not completely off like that, but it makes it look a little bit nicer. Okay, stick up those on there. So I'm going to find. I'm happy, I think, with that. Yeah. But I do want to add something onto this. So let's put the little flower back. And oh, I don't know. I don't know. Is where I'm at. Oh, I like that. This. So this little thing here. So I go with it. Will you go on there? Yeah, you'll put it on there. We can go with that. Just something to kind of, like I say, in a way, I wish I'd done the the text in the frayed burlap rather than straight in with the ground espresso. But it is what it is, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's still going to look good. Yeah, we'll go with that, I think. We've done that. Put this one's back on there. Oops. Let's put those there. We'll sort those out afterwards. Okay, so we've got that done. So we're gonna put this on there. You see, I have got from here, I have got some ink on here, but that's okay. So when we come to do that one the next time, we'll just either ignore it or incorporate it, or, you know, so just trying to work out. See, that's pretty much the whole thing. But now, if you were like, you know, or didn't feel you could like use the whole thing, you can make a little pocket. You can add something, you know, to stick it into. There we go. So that's now done. I need a little bit more glue up there, just to hold that down. There we go. Right. So I said I won't want to. I don't think. Is this big enough? Or I might just put a little bit of glue on there and a little bit of glue there, and stick this in just to hold it in place while I'm sorting out. So that glue will dry, so that's fine. So that's going to go there. That behind, wasn't I? I think it needs to go that way or that way. No, I think it can go that way. So I'm trying not to overcomplicate this, because I want these things to be quite to show you that you don't have to spend hours doing these, that things can come together quite quickly. You might not have the exact things that I have, you know, in terms of you might not have the ephemera, you might not, but you might have something similar. You might not have the stamps, but you might have something similar. There. And this is going to go there. So, and then the little butterfly. Butterfly's going to go there. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to find some words, some text. I find most of what I do is I always want some words on it. I think I said that last time. What I have just picked up, just these are the types of sheets that these have come off of. Okay, so the packs from Janie are from Deco, I think, Creative Craft Company. And there's like 2 different ones in each pack. So I'll link this site that sells similar, but you might want to have a bit of a search on the internet. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Okay, so we're just going to find something word-wise to go in here. Sometimes I start with the words. Sometimes I'm like, right now I'm going to look for something that kind of calls out to me. Afterwards, it really is dependent on how I'm feeling at the time. Something like that little one there, Make a Difference, is quite nice. And I've gone for something that follows with the kind of brown theme there. I'll stop over from this. Just going to stick it there. But there, so it's a quite it's a really small area, nice and easy. A bit of ink, a few stamps, a few bits of ephemera. Really quite easy to do. So yeah, thank you for joining me for this one, and I'll be back hopefully soon. And we'll have a look at this one, I think.